better way to end your week than hopefully with a big stretch that just feels so good. In order to begin class today, I would like to head back to our mats to begin some breath focused movements, coming into our breath slowly but surely today. And on Fridays, I'm going to write the focus of the class in the chat just in case you joined late and you missed the beginning. But today's focus is about slowing down. Oftentimes, we're chasing the next best thing. We're chasing happiness. We're chasing joy. We're chasing goals. There's a lot of running. We become human doers and human goers, and we stop being human beings. So today, we will be with what is. We will just be. Know that we are enough. We are worthy, and we are whole just as we are. And as we ease our way back to our mats, we'll begin with a slow descent, finding our way down to hands and knees. Making your way around your mat, crawl around a little bit. Widen your knees, shift forward and back. Finding that slow but rejuvenating pace for your practice today. And as we work our way through things, please remember that the goal is to have fun, to move a lot, to breathe a lot, to break out of any molds or any preconceived expectations about class. Once you've arrived with me, tuck all 10 toes under, stretching the bottoms of your feet, and then turn your fingers out to the left and the right. At least one hand. If you can do both, try both at the same time, and begin to shift your weight to the right and the left, warming up through your wrists, drawing your navel in as strong as you can to kiss into your spine, and then breathing. Most importantly, in every posture, we will reconnect with our breath. Just noticing in the beginning how it feels, where it's hitched, when it encounters tightness, how long or short it is. Let's bring the palms facing up, but our fingertips will face one another now on our tabletop. Again, one hand at a time is fine. Make a fist. Try to close your thumb to the middle finger. That's really challenging. Then inhale, float the fingers open. Squeeze your fist, thumb to middle finger. Flare fingertips open a little bit more energetically this time. Let's go back and forth. Think flashing lights. So we want to close, open, squeeze, release. If you shift your weight back here, things will become a little less intense. Forward is more intense. And then you can play with bending your elbows and straightening them. It's really different. Straight arms is hard to do the fist, isn't it? Bent elbows is a little kinder and less intense. Try all of the options. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great job, yogi. Sit back on the tops of your feet. Allow your toes to untuck and just gently shake your hands like you're shaking water off of them. Clasp them and start to roll in a figure 8 just to stretch your wrists softly here. Then when you can, palms are together, but we're going to cross our wrists. We call this lover's hands. Drive the arms to the sky, squeeze your buns, and reach straight and tall here. Tuck your toes if that feels good. We're going to tip over to the right side. Come back to center. Tip over to the left side. What breath works for you? Find one for each movement. Our vinyasa yoga practice is a dance between our breath and our bodies, our breath and the shapes we make. Inhaling and exhaling. If the arms become too much overhead at any time, find a new place for them, something that feels nurturing and kind. One more each way. Last one. Stay up on the shins, clasp hands behind low back now, and squeeze your shoulder blades together so much that your heart opens high to the sky. Squeeze your buns just a little and then lift your heart up away from hips, wrapping knuckles around your left ribs and then dropping right ear to right shoulder. Let's make sure that our spine stayed long here as we drop in. If your knees get tired, you're welcome to sit back. We're going to rise in a second and go through a few more of these. Drop your chin towards your right collarbone, stretching more through the back left side of your neck. Come back through the center, eyes forward, then extend knuckles behind you. Wrap them around the right side body. Left ear, left shoulder, making sure we're still really erect in our spine, but not rigid or stiff. Reconnecting with breath. Next breath, chin tucks to left collarbone. Big breath in and out here. Be present and aware of what's happening in your body. The sensations of breath. Eyes forward, arms rise. Now, if you need to, put your fingers on the ground. We're gonna come to standing here. I wanna show you an option. Sit back on your heels, lift your knees, and rise to standing. If that's not possible, it's okay, hands down. Scoop yourself up in any fashion that feels supportive. Rise long overhead, lift your heart, your ribs, your hips, your eyes. Exhale, sink fingertips to floor and forward fold. Drop your buns and lift your chest. Are you able to rise? Arms back overhead, sitting in a low chair. Low yoga chair. Whew, that's tough stuff. Taking left peace fingers, the first two, to the right temple. Drop here. Now stay low in the hips. Right arm reaches to the side and then turn different ways. Reach to new spots. Wow, you'll find a spot that feels really good and then stay there. One more big breath, warming your thighs at the same time. Inhale back to center. Let's get out of here. Inhale, lift, take a second. Exhale, forward fold. Buns lower. Keep your fingertips on the ground. Try to stay this low as your arms rise. Peace fingers, right hand. Hold the left temple, drop right ear. And then as soon as you can, begin to move your arm. Some spots may feel really good, but others are bound to feel better. So experiment where you're reaching. And then once you find your spot, breathe here. Soften your jaw, the gaze of your eyes. One more breath in, rise back to the sky. Inhale, get out of that. Exhale, release, forward fold. Well done, yogis. Let's take a giant step back with our right legs, a long, low lunge. Allow your hips to melt, possibly dropping your right knee. Lift your heart and your eye gaze up like a cow back. Exhale, straighten left leg, wide pyramid, but bring fingertips under your shoulders and round your back, cat back. Inhale, lower, cow. Exhale, rise, angry cat back as you puff up to the sky. Inhale, navel and hips melt. Exhale, everything pulls up, even the inner thighs, squeeze up and together. Open your upper back twice more. Breathe in to lower. You can rest your right knee there as well. Whatever feels lovely. Exhale. One more big round. Exhale. That felt awesome. Come into your low lunge. Walk hands back forward and then just saw forward and back a little bit, shifting your weight. Trying to breathe into your right ankle. Right toes, bottom of right foot. On one of these swings, get heavy in the left foot and pop your right leg forward. Forward fold. Take a break. If your hamstrings feel really tight, bend your knees and make a little shelf for your chest. Roll to rise, yogis. Slowly stacking your spine one vertebrae at a time. Head comes up. Arms sweep up. Exhale right back to where you were. Soft knees, deep forward fold. And our left legs take that long, soft landing journey back. Hips are melting, chest and eyes are rising. Exhale, hands under shoulders, boost yourself up to wide pyramid. Back heel will stay elevated the whole time. Squeeze your inner thighs together and puff your back. Inhale, lower. Exhale, round. Slow down as much as possible. That can be very challenging in our yoga practice, so let's attempt to make our breath slower by the end of class than it was when we started. That's our only goal. Breathe in, breathe out. One more time, moving as it feels good for you. Let's rebend right knee and begin sawing forward and back with any shape in our back that feels beautiful and opening. Heavy in the right foot to pop the left leg forward whenever you're ready for your next forward fold. Holding opposite elbows here. Drop your head towards the floor like a bounce, like you're bouncing a basketball. Just little bounces, encouraging the back of your body to lengthen, your posterior chain to release. We're gonna try two more. And now spin, left elbow to left heel, right elbow, right heel. Really soft knees as you spin around the corner here. Being aware of what's happening, stretches moving left to right across the back of your legs. Are you able to roll like this as you rise? Just be careful if you tend to get dizzy. Feel free to roll to the sky without the twist. Once your head has risen, let's lift our arms up to meet the eye gaze at the ceiling. Big, beautiful breath in. Well done, yogis. Exhale, release. Home base, coming on back into that forward fold. Right leg steps back into lunge. And then left knee comes next to it for tabletop. Scoop your hands underneath your shoulders. Lift both toes and then take them out to the sides. It feels funny. I'll show you from the back. Lift and then take the toes out. Notice that your outer hips, your outer thighs, engage there. Just squeeze and breathe. Open all of your toes really wide. Stretch the webbing on your feet. Toes back together on the earth, and then they both spin over to the right side. Wrap your body around to look at your right baby toe, twisted tabletop. Make a big C shape with your left side. One more breath in. Toes back to the center, head back, toes to the left, and then wrap your eyes around that corner. Try to peek over at your left pinky toe. Notice a drawing in sensation with your core, still protecting low back. Breathing and twisting here. All right, back into the center. Turbo tabletop, do you remember that one? Knees inch or two, only an inch or two off the mat, making it turbo feeling, warming up the inner thighs, warming up the quads and the belly. Take one big breath in here and step your right leg back. Knee draws back in, step your left leg back. Knee back in, one more each way, slow, steady, and strong. Breath each movement. Inhale, exhale. Knees come down, keep your hips exactly where they are and begin to walk your hands forward for puppy pose. When we get really far away from our hips, begin to draw your chest down so your back feels like a ski slope. Your heart is melting towards the ground. Less intense forehead rests on a block, a support, or the floor. More intense eye gaze looks to your thumbs. If it's too much, yogis, shift your weight forward and draw your hands back in. Try a child's pose instead. If possible, let's tent our fingertips, making this a bit more intense. This is a big shoulder stretch. Breathing slowly. Try one more big breath in. One long, slow exhalation out. Lift your chest forward, bring hands back in close to body, and then scoot your knees out a little bit further. We're gonna lower our bellies to the ground any way you can get there on the forearms. Another little back bend here. Toes walk out, elbows are right under our shoulders, and then we press our palms down to pull chest through the bicep window. Do you feel compression in your low back? Try squeezing your butt, lifting out of the low back. Still feels compressed, move your big toes wider, left to right. And if it's just too much, drop down a bit. In your Sphinx, try dropping your chin to your chest. Let's stretch out between our shoulder blades, back of your neck. Tough to breathe when we get this big lock in our throat here, throat lock. One more breath, slow and steady. Exhale, release fully. Nose hovering above the floor, hands under shoulders. Press back to child's pose, yogis. And let's take a little swing with our hips side to side, stretching out the outer hips. Tuck your toes. Rise to your first downward facing dog. Let's celebrate this. It feels great. And then move as much as possible. Bend your knees, press your heels, sway your hips and your shoulders. Take your eyes out under your armpits. Look both ways. Well, that's the best neck stretch, isn't it? While you're here, shake your head no. Set some boundaries for yourself. Shake your head yes. Yes to all the good in the world, manifesting abundance and joy through your yoga practice. Yes to slowing down and connecting with your breath. Still your head, lift your heels, breathe in as you do, reconnect. Exhale, melt your heels as low as they can go. Inhale, rise. Exhale, press. Doing what feels good, my friends. Inhale. Exhale. Next inhale, we rise, but swivel your heels to the right. Press your chest straight back to your left knee. Scissoring your feet here for a side body stretch. Inhale, center, heels rise. Exhale, swivel them, scissor them to the left. Heart pushes back towards your right knee.
Inhale, heels rise again. Keep them lifted in the center and tiptoe your way forward into forward fold. Take as many footprints as you can. That works on our hip mobility. Take a deep fold, swing around a bit if you enjoy that, and then some way find yourself up to standing. High as the trees. Inhale, fingertips, branches, leaves reach to the sky, heels elevate. Give me a little more. Okay, try to be balanced, my friends. Arms fall, spread wings behind you in honor of Halloween. They can be bat wings this time. Bend your knees, start to float your chest forward, slowly finding forward fold. It could be a rocky ride with heels lifted. Hang in there. Be determined and curious about your body's movements. Exhale, release. Beautiful job, my friends. Inhale, halfway lift, top of head to tail, long and strong. Exhale, release. Your right leg takes a long lunge back. Finding warrior two, turn the blade edge of your foot down. Windmill your arms so they're up at shoulder height. But then like a ghost, just kind of float around through the arms. Find softness here. Straighten left knee, arms rise overhead. Lean back, reverse triangle. Lean back to the other side. Let your arms fall for traditional triangle if that feels nice for you. To the sky, next breath. Rebend left knee, arms float. Sun warrior, reverse. Right arm falls, left arm rises. Come to extended side angle, left arm falls, right arm rises. Back to warrior two, one breath per movement. Inhale, rise again. Sink a little deeper into your warrior two. Try that one more time. Big breath in, big breath out. Now pause here, and if you feel like your hips are tight, you might like to take your fingers and press your knee out towards your baby toes. Now don't lift your big toe. That's what happens sometimes. That's how we cheat. Try to keep your big toe down and just find length. Elongating and aligning knee with hip bone. One more big breath in. Clasp your hands behind your low back. Press your knuckles to the floor. Open your heart skywards. Wonderful job. Eyes back forward. Arms long, toes turn in. And then the right toes turn out. Left toes turn in. If we got a little cattywampus, fix yourself so you feel like your right heel would intersect your left arch. Back to our soft ghost, warrior two. Straighten your right knee as the arms rise. Remember this, one breath. Lean back, reverse triangle, next breath. Center we go. Next breath, tip right. Keep the arms, this is a big challenge. If it feels better with other arms, please find them. Back to the center. Rebend right knee and arms fall. Just relax for a second. That's tough work. Right arm rises, reverse warrior. Find a breath, please. Extended side angle on your next breath. Right forearm very light, like a buoy here. Back to our warrior twos. And it's time to just pause and reconnect. Possibly opening right inner thigh more. We can think about lifting from the left inseam, left arch, and then extending from the tips of each of our wings a little longer. One more big breath in, but this time we rise out of this. Inhale. Exhale. Can you sink a little deeper? Ultimately, we're going for 90-degree knees, but your heels, your ankles have to be underneath your wrists to accomplish that. Sink and hold. Find the biggest expression you've got. Big reward coming. Turn toes forward, a little in, and then we take hands to hips. Lift your heart by squeezing your bun. Scoop up. Exhale, wide-legged forward fold. Feel your knees. Are they happy, in line with your toes? Rest your head, and if your head clunks into the floor, turn your toes in, heels in, toes in, heels in, as much as necessary, so your upper body hangs heavy. Time to take a load off. Take it easy, my friends. From my favorite Eagles song, don't let the sound of your own wheels drive you crazy. Take it easy while you still can. Going a little deeper into this one. Let's walk our hands all the way forward. Think wide-legged downward facing dog. And when you get out there, we're gonna widen our hands so they're about in front of our toes. This is called a hammock pose. Just make sure you're not on a really slippery surface. Try to walk around so that you're on your mat. Ease yourself back. The belly should feel like it's hanging. You have that ski slope in your back again. Big, big shoulder stretch. So if it's too much, look forward, close thumbs, and just enjoy the downward facing dog. One more breath in hammock pose. Everyone's eyes look forward, thumbs close. Let's walk our fingertips back to our wide-legged forward fold, but this time all the way over to our right toes. Lift the blade edge of your foot and try to slide your left fingers under the right blade edge. Bring your right hand to your right hip. This is a great place to stay. Twisting, or we can reach the right arm skywards, twisting a little bit bigger. And then your option, yogi's choice, drop the left shoulder or stay really lifted. I encourage you to try all things and see what in this very moment feels best for you. If this is too much with the left hand, feel free to put that under your nose and twist open from here. One last breath in, but let's find the most length in our left side, the bottom ribs very long and activated. Top arm floats down. Turn your toes out, please. Bend your knees and come into a squat, a really wide squat, that is. Shimmy out your shoulders, literally shake them, shrug them, get them free. And then use strong hands, not strong shoulders. Press left hand into left knee, right hand into right knee. Inhale. Exhale. Now try to drop that shoulder too. Left hand pushes, shoulder drops, eye gaze over right shoulder. Right hand pushes, shoulder drops, eye gaze over left shoulder. And then move it with your breath, my friends. Inhale. Exhale. Hip opening, really nice after those warriors and those squeezing triangles. We're gonna go for 4. Now, if you ever encounter a really tight spot and you wanna hang out, please do. You know your body best. You should linger wherever you need extra attention today. When you're done though, turn your toes back in. Wide leg forward fold. So when you straighten your legs, make sure your knees are happy. All good. Walk hands over to the left side, attempting right fingers to slip under the left blade edge of foot. Left hand to hip, starting a twist, eye gaze moves around the left corner. Connecting with our breath and elongating left fingertips skywards, considering dropping right shoulder or staying lifted. And if this is all too much, we take our right fingertips under our right ear and twist from the center. Most importantly, reconnection with the breath, extension from right armpit to right hips. Slowly dropping top arm. Untwisting, coming back into the center, returning toes out, squatting again, and we're gonna build up the muscles on our spine. Lift your chest, stay in your sumo or your goddess squat. Exhale, forward fold halfway, yogis. So when we get to forward, I want you to try to push your butt back and really stay locked and loaded in your feet, but toes wiggleable and free. Inhale, rise, arms come to goalpost. Exhale, forward fold. Pelvic floor up and in, hips pushing back, toes wiggleable. Inhale, rise. A little higher, not all the way yet to straight arms, but a little bit. Sink, halfway fold. Everything feel okay? Rise again. We're going for it, yogi. Straight arms. Stay low, halfway fold. If it's too much, pull your arms back somewhere new. Pull your pelvic floor up and in, wiggle your toes. Jazz hands, spirit fingers, reach to me. Fingertips fall, toes turn in. One more wide-legged forward fold. On this one, let's spin our fingertips towards our heels and start to walk back, remembering that if our head clunks, we just want to toe heel in to close the gap and let our upper body hang heavy. That little bounce in forward fold earlier, a really nice way to encourage the back body to lengthen. We can bounce a bit here too. Final big inhalation. During that long, slow exhalation, walk your fingertips back to face the front. Walk your hands out like that downward facing dog, but then close your big toes. Drop to your knees for a second. Standing up on the shins again, but this time fists in the sacral area, the lower back, that curvature of your spine, fists there, And then take your elbows, close them tight. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Offer your heart higher, squeeze your buns, lift your chest, eye gaze up, and then see if you'd like to bend over your thumbs here a bit for a supported camel pose. When you've had enough, tuck chin, then rise, but if possible, one final breath here. On the exhalation, everyone's chins tuck, bodies rise, including arms all the way to the sky. Reach arms forward like that halfway forward fold we just did. As our buns go back, they hover over the heels, bowing, and then re-rising. Inhale up to the sky. That requires a bit of core control, doesn't it? Bow, buns back, hovering the heels, elbows right by the ears, super strong core. Inhale one more time. Exhale, bow. From this bow, pull elbows back to goal post, squeeze shoulder blades open chest, reach forward twice more, inhale, extend in your bow. Exhale, pull back, inhale, extend. Exhale, pull back. Inhale, arms and eyes to sky, floating down to tabletop. Well done, yogis. Lift your hips and rise, downward facing dog. All right, give yourself a break. Just let your hips swing. Let your shoulders shake. Free yourself up. Rolling forward into plank position. Feel free to use your knees. Bring your heart through the bicep window. And let's slowly lower to the earth. 1 little inch by the next little inch. 1 little inch. A few more inches to go, slowly lowering. Melt into the earth. Walking toes back as far as you can. Going for upper locust to begin. Fingertips under shoulders, like tents. Squeeze them together. Tuck your chin to your chest. Hover your nose. And then squeeze your shoulder blades together, magnetizing your upper body to the sky. Long wrinkle-free in the back of your neck. Squeeze through the back body. Breathe and hover your fingertips. See if you can stay at that level you just boosted to. Hang in there. One more big breath. Exhale, release, nose hovers above the ground. Great job. One hand on top of the other. Make a pillow for your forehead to rest on. Lift your toes, knees, and thighs, and spread your toe webbing as wide as possible. Wiggle your toes a bit. Lift your toes, knees, and thighs again. And then pretend someone's pulling them. Poke them further away. Begin to tap your big toes together with steel rod legs. Squeeze in, squeeze out. Inner thigh, outer thigh. Squeeze, release. 8, 7. Stay lifted in the knees and thighs. Lower locust work. Working on your low back. 4. Push away. Open your webbing. Squeeze one more time. Big extra credit. Squeeze. Release. Press back. Hands under shoulders. Child's pose. Tuck toes. Turbo dog. Earlier we did turbo table. Just lift your knees an inch. Like a crouch turbo dog. Lift your hips high, downward facing dog. Let's try that turbo dog again. Now use your fingers, spread them wide. Press the base of your thumb and index finger in. Bend your knees, use all the parts of your hand. Exhale, rise. Bend your knees one more time, little crouch. Exhale, rise. Moving on, my friends, right leg rises. Take a big, beautiful step. Forward in between your thumbs, crunch your knee in. And if you got stuck under your belly, land your left knee, step your right leg forward. Back leg elevates. Let's come into supported warrior 3. Fingers forward, so they're under your shoulders when you rise. And if you feel great here, you're welcome to elevate. We can take our palms to prayer at heart center. Or we can send our arms all the way overhead for the really tough version. But we're gonna crunch a little bit in this warrior 3. Left knee to chest. Left leg extends. Can you flex your foot here? Point your toes as you crunch. Extend. Flex and point. 2 more. Push. Pull. Push. And pull. Fingertips down if they weren't already. Tuck your nose towards your right knee and get upside down here. Options for standing split. Left toes on floor. Left heel to butt. Or left leg rising as much as you'd like. I like to hold my right hand on my right ankle and then lift. But yogis, listen, we don't care where our left legs are. I want you to get upside down. Feel comfortable breathing upside down. Most important part, the leg comes after you're cozy here. Taking 2 more big breaths in. Lift halfway, bend your right knee and poke your left leg back, but land slowly, land slowly. Back to lunge we go. Sink into low lunge. Right arm twists. Take a nice invigorating twist here. Eye gaze up to right fingers. Exhale, right arm falls. Press back, downward facing dog. Slow and steady, 2 breaths. Ride that breath wave. Lift your heels. Exhale, lower. Lift your heels. Exhale, lower. Left leg elevates. 3-legged dog. Look to thumbs. Crunch it in for a lunge. When you're ready, we're finding warrior 3. Supported to begin. Fingers forward. Boost out of your left leg to rise the right. Optionally, stay really strong and lifted, bringing prayer hands at heart. Arms overhead if you're feeling crazy strong today. And crunch right knee to the chest. Push back. Flare your toes open, flex and point. Unclench your jaw. I know it's tough, but find areas that you can release. We only have 1 more. Squeeze, extend, fingertips back to the floor. Bend your left knee and tap your right toes back to lunge as slowly as you can. It's okay if you clumped. I do all the time too. Left arm rises, twist open. Find your breath. Inhale, inspire, revitalize. Exhale, untwist, release, press back to dog, shake, and just let go of anything that's not serving you. All right, my friends, let's take another lift. Right leg rises, lunge it forward, and as we do, we land our left knee. Get comfy on that left knee, okay? If you need a little padding or something, climb up to your right thigh and lift so you have 2 90-degree bends in your knees. From here, let's prep our camel. Fists into sacrum. You can use thumbs into sacrum or palms with fingers facing up. You choose. Lift your heart and then curl back over your supports. Try to pull your elbows towards one another. So this might be where you stay in lunging camel pose. Option with me, lunging half camel. Left arm circles up, back and around. Toes can be untucked or not on the left foot, but we're gonna try to reach back and find our left heel. Inhale, right arm rises, half camel lunge. Try to breathe. 1 more big breath in. No matter where you are, tuck your chin to your chest. If you're in half camel, right arm falls. We find our right thigh. Those of you that are in full camel, once the chin tucks, we rise, release the hands, and frame out right leg. Beautiful job. Press back, downward facing dog. Give yourself a shimmy and a shake. Now you know where we're going. Left leg rises, breathe in. Breathe out to land between the thumbs. Take your time arriving. Find a kneeling lunge. And then shift up and back, 2 90-degree knees. Totally your choice on those back toes, whatever feels good. Camel prep, squeezing. You may not need support. In that case, rise. Lift up. We want to guide heart up, 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 and then arch back once you're as long as possible. This is a great place to stay. I think half camel, despite the name, it sounds easier. I think it's much more challenging. So if you'd like to try with me, right arm comes all the way back and down. You're reaching for your right heel. Left arm comes skywards and we really tip back. Lunging half camel. Most importantly, yogis, when we find ourselves in a tricky situation, the learning that we take off of the mat is connection with the breath and responding in a cool as a cucumber way. Left arm spin down, everyone's chins tucked so we don't leave our necks behind as we come out of half or full camel. Frame out your front foot, push hips up to sky, leg back to downward facing dog, and take a moment to just shimmy your shoulders, wiggle your hips, free yourself any way you can. Look to thumbs, lift your heels, tiptoe walk both feet forward till they land outside your pinky fingers. The big squat got narrower and lower, yogi squat. If it doesn't feel good to let go way down, couple things. Put something under your buns, a pillow or a block. or find a higher version or a higher version. Anything works, but we're gonna try to challenge ourselves with our hands today. Okay, let's make a prayer. Are you ready? Arms are gonna rise wherever you are, up and overhead. It's just a bit harder without our hands down there. We have to really rely on our hips, pressing down through the heels. Feel this rooting from the bottoms of your feet, spreading out around you. Your tree will not fail you here, strong as the roots of a really old tree. Hands come down. Let's twist. Even if you're up high, left hand comes out, right arm reaches. Ooh, nice twist for the low back. Eye gaze floats somewhere. Hand can also be on the right knee. Same on the other side. Right arm extends, slow and steady. Left fingers elongate. Try to look to the left, but wherever it feels good for your neck. Fingers come down, hips rise. You may like to massage your knees. Definitely turn your toes forward. If your knees get tight when you stretch hips, give them a little massage. Cross your left foot behind your right and then try to push your big toes down into the earth. When you get there, if this is really intense for the back of your legs, bend your knees. Your left knee fits in that little pocket behind your right knee. It's a yoga surprise. Cross-legged forward fold, straight or as bent as it feels, great. Remind yourself that we have no need for tension by shaking no. And yes, shake yes. Yes, we can connect with our breath to release and revitalize. Uncross your leg, please. Recross right ankle behind the left, remembering to push our big toes in. That encourages us to stretch fully left to right. And if you're feeling very happy, you can clasp your hands behind your low back, sending knuckles to the wall behind you or to the sky. Possibly with arms clasped, we pull our shoulder blades together, down towards our spine, so we have room on our necks, shoulders way far away from earlobes. Any arms that are rising, connect with low back and let them slide down your sides to the floor. Halfway lift. Uncross your legs, and then we're going to find a little squat to make it into the earth. This is optional, yogis. You can come down however it feels best for you. But let's relax our hips. Heels rise. Buns sit on the heels. Knees poke forward. Hands come to thighs. This is where it gets a little hairy. Arms reach forward, or they can really reach anywhere. Up is really hard. Now, can you sit your buns back slowly without a Plavasana? See if you can find the floor. We may need to use our hands. It's okay, but it's fun to try without it. Oh, and when you made it, let your soles of feet come together, knees fall open. If this feels terrible in your hips, prop things under your knees so you always feel supported in your hip stretches. If you feel good, try to peel the inner arch open. You're going to read deep into your soles like this is a really good book. You could have diagonal, or excuse me, diamond shape, not diagonal, heels away from groin or closer in, whatever feels best for you. And release flesh from under sits bones. That's nice. Lift your chest and let's just float. Exhale forward and down. Use your legs or the sides of your mats to guide you forward, but try 3 more times. It's never the best in the beginning. Exhale, melt a bit slower, maybe a bit deeper. Inhale, rise. Possibly stretching out through your neck as you move through here. Exhale, fall. And whenever you feel ready, let's drop in heavily here. We can continue to press on the inner thighs. We can gather something soft under our belly and fold over it. Optimally coming to forearms, that opens our shoulders if we turn our palms up. Then you can receive all the good vibes of yoga today. Chin tucks to chest. Feel free to do a little nod side to side here. Now let's rise because we're going to do a little tech neck remedy. Rise on up, but keep your legs. If this is super uncomfortable, find something new. Take the fingertips to the head of your shoulders. Lift your elbows and kiss them together in the front. Drop elbows to belly, eyes to elbows. Curl in here. Round the corner with your elbows, roll them all the way up. Back down to kiss and crunch. Inhale, open. Up we go. Down and round. One more big breath this way. We're going to try to switch directions. Not everyone's shoulders cooperate with this. Let's see if we can come out. Crunch. Touch and rise. 3 more like this. One more. Okay, remember, fix your hips if they feel bad. You can cross your legs a new way again. Fingertips to back of head. And then we're gonna lift up like a baby cobra, open into a tiny back bend. Exhale, hold the crunch. We're gonna bring our hands as far across the back of our head, maybe even over one another, as it feels good here. Let your chin hang heavy. Feel the tension pulling out of the back of your neck, in between your shoulder blades. Most importantly, yogis, especially when we crunch, let's breathe. Soften the hinge of your jaw. Let your tongue hang heavy. And slowly reconnect with your breath. One final breath in here. Inhale, rise. Hands come down. Lean back. Lift your heart. Just go the other way for a second for a counter pose, we call it. And then exhale, come back upright, close your knees. They might feel a little stuck. The inner thigh is really stretched out there. And then let them fall to the left, but separate your legs so you have 2 90-degree bends in your legs. Left arm down, right arm up and overhead. And then just switch, coming into big side bends. Think about reaching up to the furthest corner of your ceiling. Really reach far away. Try one more. Let's lift our hips. Next time we get the right hand behind, we're gonna keep it. And then lift up through the hips. Now this may not be possible. We'll go an easier way in a second, don't worry. If possible, lift your hips. Exhale, release. When the left hand comes behind, this is a bit more doable. Lift your hips, reach up. Stay for a breath. Exhale, release. Wonderful job. Scoot your buns back so you can straighten your legs. And if your knees get cranky, always give them a rub and a love. Shake them out. Turn your knees to the right. See if you can do it with no hands, just moving through the hips strong. About 2 90-degree bends here. All right, reach over the right knee. Forward fold. Lift up and lean back. Just a little different on this side. Opening chest. Opening upper back as we fold. 2 more big rounds of breath in here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Left hand behind you. This is going to be the tough one, yogi. So if your hips don't lift, no worries. Try to squeeze your buns. Lift your hips up just a little. Right arm rises. And if it bothers your shoulder or something, always listen to your body. Your body knows best. Hips down, right hand behind. This is more doable, feeling a bigger lift. Inhale. Exhale, hips melt on down. Beautiful job. Let's keep the legs where they are this time and possibly straightening the right shin. Parallel to the mat is the biggest you'll go. But we're gonna try to walk our left toes back and find pigeon pose. So the least intense way is right heel in towards groin, and then we roll around the corner, propping ourselves up into a little back bend. See if you can walk your left toes out a bit more. If it feels great, make it more intense by scooching right shin towards the front of your mat. Then we're gonna use our left hand to reach and release. We wanna guide our left hip flexor forward. If this isn't happening in your body, try this. Move your right knee out to the right more and see if you've got more room to twist. Works like a charm. Reach again. And when it feels really, really good, reach so far that you just go and land on down into the mat. Over your blanket, over your pillow, on your forearms. You can rest even deeper on the backs of your hands. There's a couple cute ways you can sit here that are just so fun. So I like to mention them. We can make our hands into a little clasp and use the meaty part of the base of our thumbs in our forehead and our third eye. Some people like to use their thumb pads and put them at the start of their eyebrows. They clasp their hands and they rest that way.
And of course, you can also rest right on your knuckles. Try to find somewhere that allows your upper body to be getting heavier, dropping in, gravity releasing into your hips. Well, if anyone is interested in twisting, we don't have to. It's a great place to stay. But if you are, you can do two things. You can walk over your right knee, diagonal pigeon, or you can thread your pigeon needle. Right hand forward, left hand out, resting on your left temple. Just make sure that wherever you went today in your pigeon alternative, that you're able to fully, expansively breathe softly and easily. One more big breath in, remembering that I encourage you to stay if something feels too wonderful to leave. Exhaling and unfolding whatever we have done, beginning to rise back up to regular pigeon. We're gonna rebend the left knee, and then just take a second to sit with that. There's a lot going on in the hips. It can bring up emotions. We unlock things. Everything can bubble to the surface. When you're ready, lean back, lift your knees, and windshield wipe them a few times, wide feet, knees just swish each way. And then you're probably gonna turn away from me. That's okay. Let your knees fall to the left. Here we are in our modified pigeon. I'll turn to you so you can see me. Begin with left heel near the groin to walk your right toes back. Ooh, that feels good. You can feel it coming into the inner thigh, right? Around the corner, and if you feel like you could give a little more, scooch your left shin as far as parallel to the top of your mat. Now listen, if we can't reach forward with the right hand, we're kind of reaching to the side, then we need more space. So we're gonna move our left knees out. Now those side reaches become all the way forward. Try to give your hip a little help. Reach, release, reach, release. And sometime you're gonna reach and be like, whoa, I feel good. Reach, and then really release this time. Come on down. I find it harder, but some of us may try to stay up. This may be best for your hips. This is a big back bend, so if you enjoy it, go for it. Very heart opening. Let's relax through the facial features and tuck our chins to our chest, slowing down again, allowing rest and digest our parasympathetic nervous system to check in and take over for a moment. Soften your cheeks and your jaw, your eyes, your brows, and your forehead. Gravity taking over, bringing release, opening, letting go. Stay in sleeping pigeon or make it a diagonal pigeon over left knee. Or a twisted pigeon, we can thread our needle. Left arm would reach forward, right arm reaches under. We rest right side of face on the floor. And if you went there, just a little side note, I always like to take my left hand either around my back or just next to my left knee, so you have room to breathe and you don't get a claustrophobic feeling in that twisted pigeon. We're taking 3 more breaths in here. Unless you can afford to stay longer, please do. Softening as you go, extending, making our breath quiet yet confident, like a whisper. One more inhalation, my friends. Begin to regather yourself on your exhalation, whether you're coming back to center or you're climbing up. Bring your back knee bent. We may get stuck, so we could help it around the corner, and then just sit with that for a second. It's huge. Sometimes we get a wave of emotion that comes up. We really want to embrace that. That's what yoga is all about. Leaning back and letting our knees swish. Optionally, remember, sometimes knees can get cranky here, so you can shake them. And I always like to give them a little rub. And then we're going to roll back 1 vertebrae at a time. So time check, we have 2 minutes for those of you that can stay. Get a little bit of hamstrings, and then for the rest of us, we'll get our spinal twists in. Move the flesh out from under your sits bones. Hold the backs of your thighs. Tuck in tight, rounding your back. Make sure there's no flesh under your tail. That pinches. It doesn't feel so good. And roll all the way down slowly. Hug into a little ball when you get there.
Rock side to side, invigorating your spine for a minute. If you find a little tight patch around the kidneys or somewhere, pause, rock up and down, massage things out. And when you're ready, coming into cow face, left knee over the right, still working on the hips here too, but then we get a little bit more. Hug the knees and pull them in opposite directions. See if you can slide your hands down to the outer edges of your feet. Flex them if it hurts your knees this way. Otherwise, point them and pull your heels to your buns. Then crunch your knees into your chest and elongate back of neck, tuck chin in. Try to let our shoulders be heavy, feeling the gravitational force again, relaxing anywhere we don't need to hang on. Try to squeeze again, knees to chest. That makes the biggest difference. You want to feel sensation from the outside of your left knee down into your left glute. So sometimes when the knees are lazy, we're just like, what's happening here? Hugging. Then you feel it. Open your legs, straddle, stretch, hands somewhere that feels really great. It could be under, could be on top. Right knee over the left or thighs. Grab your knees and pull them apart from one another. Slide hands down to the blade edges of feet. If knees bother you, flex. Otherwise, really squeeze heels to butt. And then best part, knees to chest. Squeeze tight. Breathe big. Relax your shoulders. Keep squeezing your knees in so that we feel right IT band, right outer thigh, stretching beautifully here. One more time, yogis. Big breath in. Exhale, unwind. And for those of you that have to leave, I have a challenge for you. The rest of us can try it in a second, but we don't have to do it now. We're going to hold like happy baby on the backs of our thighs, though. And then I'm going to see if you guys that are leaving, only if you're leaving, can rock toes to head. This is just fun. And then you're going to try to land. Oh, it's so hard. You can try to rise is what you're going to try to do. There we go. From yogi squat to forward fold, and then ripple up to the sky to just glide on out, floating on those happy yoga cells. For the rest of us, one more breath in happy baby. Hold the blade edges of your feet and try to stretch your toes. Really pull with your thumbs down on your toes. Land your feet, cross left ankle over the right thigh. Spread arms wide, or you can goalpost, back of hands down. Scoot your hips to the right and land knees to the left. If you need a prop under your leg, this can be a really big low back stretch, so see how you feel. You can always uncross your legs as well. I like mine to be just a little bit bigger, so I'll take my left hands down onto the left calf and really push down, kind of lengthening my shoulders away. And eye gaze moves over right fingertips when everything feels great. One more inhalation here, yogis. Eyes to sky as you exhale, arms spread wide. Now really think about the health of your low back. You can uncross, you can roll to fetal, roll back up as one unit. If things feel creaky in your low back, give them the support they need to rise. When you feel good, widen your feet, cross your right ankle over the left thigh, and then scoot your hips to the left a little bit so that when your knees fall right, your hips are under your shoulders and your spine is nice and long. Arms spread wide unless you'd like to put your right hand on your right thigh or your right calf. We finish icing on the cake with the eyes looking left, deepening our twist. If you're using your right hand, I encourage you to really use it. Push down your thigh. So as I push down, I attempt to twist my ribs a little deeper to the left side. So I'm using that like a lever. When you're in a big twist, it's hard to breathe. So let's just slow down, unclench, and breathe beautifully slow. Eye gaze back to ceiling on that next exhalation. Arms spread wide, making a good decision, uncrossing legs, turning to fetal, or using your obliques to rise back to the sky. Uncross legs when you're ready, and then bring knees together, feet wide like a steeple. Working through a little cat-cow in your back again here. We're going to lift our navel to the sky like a cow. Press navel down, low back in. Cat. Inhale. Exhale. Twice more like this. Pull pelvic floor up and in. Last time. Big lift. Big push down. Knees open. We hug our knees into our armpits. So now we get to do what the other folks did earlier, hugging thighs or hugging shins. Shins is a little harder, I think. And then rock toes the head. When you feel like you have the energy to rise, you're going to stamp your heels down, use your thighs. Oh, man, I thought I had it that time. Every once in a while, though, you get it. And if you need to use your hands, no big deal. Keep on working on that. It's just fun. Find a forward fold. Let's ripple ourselves to the sky. Inhaling ever so slowly. And my hope for you today is that you go forth offering loving and balanced energy to yourself. Continue to offer it, and with no expectations of receiving anything from anyone as you go forth with this newly balanced positive energy. Hands come down through midline of body. Try to connect the base of your thumbs to your heart. Lift up, find that confident spine again. Tuck chin to chest as a sign of gratitude for your practice. The light in me, yogis, acknowledges, is grateful for, humbled by, and inspired by the light that is each and every one of you. From my heart to yours, namaste. Happy Halloween, everyone. Have a great weekend. Can't wait to see you next week.